And then obviously, I wanted to touch on my review, the car that I'm sitting on at this moment in time, which is I've got the Volkswagen, it's a bit of a mouthful here, the Passat 2-liter turbo SEL. So I'm just going to bring up some, and then I've got the and I apologize in advance for these for the video that I might end up showing. But this
high quality videos.
Yeah, it's a terrible quality video, so it's truly atrocious. But I think the photos, the car looks real nice.
They stuck the car, they CG'd the car into the photos. It looks like this one looks a little better.
This is an actual photo that James took, though, isn't it?
It is, Sam.
Is it really?
Yes.
Wait, go to the last one.
We always have these discussions about the press photos and actual photos.
You can see where I'm being catching flies in the front of the car, Sam.
This is
look.
like in the front. This is like in a parking lot. This is it's totally original.
All right, so yeah, kudos.
See?
Well, it kind of looks like one of those photoscape images from GT Sport.
Yeah. You know, you could have kind of tilted the camera so it looks straight, but it's all right.
I would have loved to, Sam, but I was on a big incline on the hill, so I had to make the best of what I've got.
Use your hands there.
No, the trees would be all diagonal then.
Exactly. So, let's touch on. So I'll touch on what I like about it first before we go on the positives.
It's a nice looking car, and it's photographed nicely. The car is. The background, I'm not sure, but the car is photographed nicely.
So these
let's get to the review.
So the first thing, the Volkswagen press site is truly an awful site. Volkswagen really needs to do a better job on their press site. It is awful from the start. But positives, it's a good car. It looks nice, as Sam mentioned. Lots of room in the back. I mean, a vast array of seating in the back. Unlike the LC500 that I had last time, there's a lot more seat room in the back here for people to sit in the back. So it was very comfortable. And it looks nicely inside. I've got this similar interior with the color combination here. Also got another thing that I really enjoy was a big boot. I was able to fit 4 17-inch tires in the rear boot there. So that I always think that's a good sign.
That's we call that the trunk.
Oh, don't be silly, Sam. And the other thing
here, James.
I know. Had the heated seats, which is good, and obviously it's got the USB charge and everything else.
Oh, very cool.
The other thing that was kind of fun about it was the Fender stereo that it's got in there, which was nice and good quality stereo, which I thought was good. The bad side, if I want to touch on the minor things first, it's a $32,000 car. I thought it would have a bit of a larger infotainment system than the one it's got there. At 6.5 inches, it's not really doing it for me. And if I'm spending more than $30,000 on a car.
What's under the hood?
That's another point that's kind of iffy, which I'll get to at the end.
All right.
But which I'll touch it now just for you, Sam. It's 174 horsepower four-banger. And, I mean, it's a big car, it's a heavy car, and it's really slow.
So it's underpowered.
Incredibly underpowered.
So going up those hills was kind of a struggle, huh?
So it's not just that. Also, it's an older style gearbox, so it's the 6-speed automatic. So especially if you're tootling around town, you're always searching for gears, which was a bit of a pain. Because I felt that, I mean, if you compare it to an 174 horsepower and a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo, it's kind of low on the power scale now. I mean, it's absolutely fine for a Golf, but a Golf's like half the size of this, 2/3 the weight.
Right.
So when you're in a big car like this, and this is a big car that can fit 5 people comfortably, it felt really underpowered. Also, $32,000, it's a real difficult spot to compete in. Obviously, I like the faster cars. So if I'm looking for more performance-driven ones, the Camry TRD, I think, comes in just over 300 horsepower in this category for the base model at $32,000. And also the Accord EXL 2-liter turbo. I think that comes in around, they both come in around $32,000 as well, and the Accord's sitting at around 240 horsepower.
And the other two cars have a better reputation for longevity too, so.
Yeah, so while it looks nice, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a good-looking car. It was incredibly comfortable to ride in, but the other really strange thing was the tires. So it comes with these strange tires that I'd never heard of before. Gucci tires, I think they are.
Chinese?
So this is
GT? GT, right?
No, yeah, GT, yeah, GT. How did you know all about those tires, Taro?
I think it's like a Indonesian.
Singapore. They're based in
Sing
Singapore, company.
Okay, yeah, it's from Southeast Asia somewhere. Yeah, I've heard
Yeah,
about it.
and they're made here in the US, but I'll be honest, they are terrible tires.
Oh, really?
I mean, I just get so much road noise coming through the tires. I mean, I'm used to road noise through the tires that I run, the R888Rs, which is obviously a loud tire, but it's a performance tire, so you can get that. But if I'm wanting a comfortable sedan that I can drive around in, I don't want to have to be kept cranking up the stereo, even though it's nice when I get in the freeway and I'm doing freeway speeds. So I think that was a real big letdown. If I had some nicer tires on there, it'd be a much better car.
And the wheels you showed before, the Space Force wheels, looks like the Space Force logo there.
These ones?
Yeah. You know, they're pretty big. They're pretty large. Are these 20-inch?
And 19s, I think, from memory.
Okay.
Yeah.
These are just funky. Man.
Yeah, I like these ones much better, and I obviously much prefer the Continental tires as well. I think these comes on the R line car, these ones. So, I mean, it's a difficult segment at $32,000. But like I said, it's a good-looking car, and it's no problems at all. But it's got a few things that don't make it ideal for me as being a more performance-oriented driver of sorts.
You know, I'm gonna instead of doing the usual thumbs up and thumbs down, I'm gonna phrase this another way. For everyone, and I'm going to ask you if you're a customer or not. So when you ask you if you're a customer, just pretend that you do have the money, and you are looking in this segment. Would you buy it? So James, are you a customer?
I probably wouldn't be a customer for this car.
Carl? Yeah, I have to agree. Jordan?
No, it's not doing it for me. I think
Me
there's
too. Okay.
no.
I mean, it's a good looking car, and I've got it in the blue, and it's a very nice color blue, and it looks nice with the brown and leather interior, but it's just not really.
The other cars in this segment that make it really competitive, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like that's like Volkswagen's. That's not where their attention is. Like that's not.
They're more in the Gulf. The Gulf.
Yeah, they're more like if I'm looking for that type of sedan, I'm not going to be looking at Volkswagen, and I like Volkswagens, but that's just not what I think of when I'm looking for a car like that.
Yeah. And James, at 32,000, you said. I mean, it's kind of creeping into Audi territory. So,
well,
why would you buy the Audi? I mean,
the Passat and the Audi A4 I always thought were like basically twin. They had all the same things, but I think the Audi's like moving leaps and bounds ahead at this point, which makes sense between the two companies. Obviously, you've got even though they are Volkswagen Audi group, right, you're going to have one that's going to be the line that's going to be come in at a lower price point and offer something similar to where, I mean, I'm assuming the Audi, I mean, I could check the Audi A4 and see what the price is where they start at, but I think they're a good chunk of change dearer.
Well, for NACs, which is not a customer, so.
Yeah, but I mean, the Audi the base model starts at like 37, and then you're looking at like
well, that's quite
41,
a bit.
So it's a $10,000 jump.
That's quite a bit. I didn't think it was that much. So.
Since we've got the racing game expert, I thought I just want to touch, and obviously we have Formula One coming back this weekend in Austria. Also with some very last minute changes from one of the teams, with Mercedes deciding to go with a different livery for the 2020 season. So instead of having silver arrows, they're going to be having a different color car.
Black arrows.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see where they go in regards to this and how it goes through.
Can I ask you a question real quick, James?
Of course you can, Sam.
Do you think, there's nothing to do with the Black Lives Matter thing? Because I know Lewis Hamilton's very, very active, in getting F1 to, put their act together and support this stuff, but no?
No, it's totally to do with that. So it's all about,
okay.
Yeah. So basically
was that obvious or not?
They had Mercedes issued like a 5-point reasoning on why they've changed the livery for the car.
Oh, okay.
In the past week with what the changes were for it. And it's basically, while it's not technically to do with Black Lives Matter, it's about diversity within their workplace. They obviously think racism, like everyone should, is abhorrent and is not a part of this world and should be out of it. But they've basically taken this stand, and they're going to have the drivers are going to be wearing similar liveried racing helmets and gear to match the cars. It's going to be interesting to see how it goes. But I mean, I think it looks really, really good in the black and the blue.
I do. I like black
I
cars.
like it too. It looks good. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we all know that because I learned this from Sam with his photography work at Road and Track magazine, that having a black car that you shoot in the middle of the day
is impossible.
is not the best idea because you lose things. But I think that this is still going to be there, because I think if you're watching this at home on your 4K TV, I think it's going to look really good. I think it's going to look great.
Well, it's got a lot of highlights in the, it's not just all black. So, you see the details of the bodywork and stuff. So.
Yeah, and you can see obviously the Mercedes emblem that's spread out here through the car.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I didn't really even notice that.
So it's going to be, and then obviously it's sort of a stranger season with it starting this weekend. But with that being said, we also have something else that I wanted to touch on, which would be, as I go to share again, which would be this. Because I've talked about this obviously in the past, F1 2020, the official video game, which comes out.
Why is Jordan smiling?
I know that one's for me.
Yeah, I try to make it convenient for everyone. So Jordan's probably already got he's probably got a copy ahead of time, and he's probably been playing this last week, and he knows all the things in the game, but he can't tell any of this, Sam, until Monday when the embargo's lifted. Is that probably right, Jordan?
Yeah, that's true. My lips are sealed.
Oh, hey, wait a minute. Where is Vettel now? He's not with Ferrari, right?
He's with Ferrari. Just as
he is. Season. Oh, okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Before he goes somewhere else, wherever that may be, right?
So he's still with Ferrari. Okay.
But also, obviously, Jordan has these things that everyone should definitely read on GT Planet, but they should also, Sam, read the review that's going to be on GTChannel come Monday as well.
Well, if it's written by old James McKeone, I'm there.
Well, that's all I'm looking for, Sam, because as long as I get your buy-in, that's the important thing to me. And as long as while you're reading that review, you're eating your carrot.
I'll be eating my carrot. The glasses don't look anything like these.
Identical.
It's identical.
Those are cheap knockoffs. Look at this, you guys. Oh, okay. Anyways.
And then the last one I wanted to say, Sam, your favorite esports driver, who the ringer, as we like to call him, Daniel Abt, has now found himself a new team.
Really?
Yes.
Jordan, you know that story, right? The guy who.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What was your take on that, Jordan?
You're not trying. Okay.
Oh my gosh. No comment.
Did you think it was a good idea, or would you suggest that probably wouldn't have been a good idea if you were his PR team?
Yeah, I would suggest that's not a good idea. Yeah.
What about if you were his dad, and his dad partners with Audi, that is the team that races for Audi in the ABT team? Would you have said, son, that's a great idea, or son, not quite the best idea you've had?
Not the best idea, son. I think I'd have to give him some different advice there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a good idea until you get caught.
So he's going to be racing for NIO, the Chinese electric car manufacturer, in the Formula E series for the remaining 6 races.
Ah, okay. So he's trying to ride in China. Maybe China says, I won't go there.
Well, the Chinese team.
Yeah, the Chinese team.
Yeah.
Chinese team, right. Okay. Cool. Well, thank you for the update, James. I was wondering where I could find this guy again.
I know you were keen. I mean, I know you follow him. I know you follow him in all forms of social media, Sam, and you've reached out to him with comment and everything else.
I'm surprised you brought him up, though. You didn't even want to talk about him, Jay.
Yeah, you were just disgusted with it.
As everyone should be, but I know that Sam felt very strongly, and since I always give Sam a hard time for his sunglasses,
they're not sunglasses; they're glasses.
His orange carrot glasses. That it would be best to talk about him again, to give him some light relief so he could talk about his BFF.
He's not my BFF, but anyways. Is that it, James?
The other thing that's important, this weekend, big day coming up this weekend, or actually next weekend, July 12th, which will be for the next one, and that is Kiwi's 5th birthday.
Oh, great. Happy birthday to Kiwi.
Happy birthday. When's Kiwi's birthday?
July 12th.
Oh, nice. Our dog's birthday is July 3rd. We adopted him the day before July 4th.
There you go.
Well, moving on. Carl.
Moving on.